What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of EvansTalk. Here with me are two of my good friends from school, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves soon. But before we start, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my page. Also, don't forget to follow my new Instagram at EvansTalk for real. Let's get into this. Again, thank you for tuning in. So, who want to start off introducing yourself?
Start off with my boy Dev.
So my name Dev. You can follow me on Instagram, just _Dev_. Yeah.
What about you?
My name Malik. You can follow me on Instagram at TarzanDB with 3 N's.
Okay, cool. Appreciate that. So after this, in the description below, their Instagram and everything will be on there. So, Dev, I want to start with you. Right. Growing up, I feel like you and I have the same background when it comes to religion and how you grew up and stuff like that. But with you, I understand that your father is a pastor, right? So my question is, growing up, right, how is it for you being the son of a pastor? How were you looked at?
Well, I looked at it in different ways, you know. Growing up, it wasn't hard. It wasn't easy. Yeah. Like, you know, going to school, I never told nobody my dad was a pastor because I already knew what was going to come with it. Yeah. But then, like, I had people that went to school with me, they went to my church. So, you know, sometimes it slip out. And then once the kids found out my dad was a pastor, like, people was like, oh, you go to church? What church you go to? I want to come. Then, like, when people started coming to my church from school, it was like, it'd be a little weird, though. But I got used to it over time. And then after that, people in school started calling me, like, Deacon Dev, like, then after that, like, I played the drums, too, so it's like, that was kind of weird, though, playing the drums in, like, front of my friends I went to school with and stuff like that. But other than that, like, it's not hard, like.
So how about that? So, like, was there, like, any pressure on you to, like, have, like, a certain image for your family? Because, like, you know, because whatever happens and you were involved, you know, the whole church will find out, and then, you know, just people talk. So, like, how was that for you?
Nah, that's true. Like, when I go outside, I know I had to be, like, my best behavior. Like, I can't be outside going crazy because, like, a lot of people know my dad. So it's like, if I do one thing, it's always going to get back to me because people outside is going to see it. And, you know, people talk. So, like, when I went to school with other kids that go to my church, if I get in trouble, like, my mom going to find out, even if I didn't tell her, because that kid's going to tell his mom, and then they're going to come to my mom saying something to my mom. So it's like, when I go outside, like, I have to act a certain way, like, respectful, of course, like, and just not doing what everybody else is doing. I just got to be myself. It was kind of hard and not kind of hard at the same time because, like, you know, if you do something bad, like, you get looked at differently.
Yeah, like, just like that.
Yeah, because, like, you're supposed to show an image. Like, you're supposed to represent I'm supposed to represent my dad. So it's like, it was all right. It wasn't that hard, I wouldn't say.
I feel like one thing a lot of people do is, like, they look at pastor kids as if, like, they go to, like, they're supposed to just embody this perfect person.
Like the golden child or something.
Yeah, like as if you're not human, just like them. You feel me? And that reminds me, I went to King University tailgate some years back, and I was wearing a jean jacket, and then underneath it was my church youth conference shirt, one of our shirts, whatever, and I was smoking a cigar. I took a picture, I posted it on Instagram. Somebody saw it, and then sent it to my pastor. Ryan is like, nah, he's calling me, asking, why would you do that? I was like, bro, like, you feel me? So, like, I definitely do get it. So now, back to you, right? Where did you grow up at?
Jersey City.
Jersey City?
Yeah.
How was it for you growing up as a young man, and, like, in the sense of, like, what was expected of you? And, like, was there, like, any struggles that you went growing up?
Basically, it wasn't too much of a hard struggle for me, but growing up in the Jersey City area, it was, like, kind of difficult, like, staying out of trouble.
Yeah.
So basically, like, growing up in that area was nothing but violence, nothing but kids doing whatever they want, a bunch of negativity going on out there. So it's basically like, they say watch who you hang around, and basically, the people who I chose to hang around, they wasn't bad, but they also wasn't good. Like, so everybody, like, in the Jersey City area is, like, the same, basically, because you grew up around it, so it's basically normal for everybody to act acting.
So then I know we go to the same school. I think that you were doing pretty well for yourself. You were in school, you drive a nice car, you got friends that love you. How did you not get yourself into this kind of stuff growing up? Like, how did you do that? Because some people, it's like it's impossible for them not to really not get themselves into
So
that.
basically, growing up, I used to live with my mother.
Yeah.
Then my father, he used to always work. He was a cop.
Okay.
So basically, when he retired, he ended up taking custody of me and moving me out of Jersey City and putting me into public schools. Then he also had me in a Catholic school while I was in Jersey City. So it basically separated me from like the other kids, from the public school kids, which kept me out of trouble also. Yeah. And another thing, basically, I separated myself from like the kids that wasn't doing good. Like I always had a different mindset from others. So when I usually talk to my friends and tell them like to do this, do positive things, they would look at me different. Like they would look at me like, why you think about positive things now? We're kids, stuff like that. Like I tell them to get a job. You're like 16 years old, 15 years old.
Your mind was way.
My mind was always like ahead of the people I was with.
Okay. So then, with your father being a cop, right, and with the whole, you know, as the police, but you obviously, I know good cops, and I'm sure your father's a good cop. How did that make you feel, or your father feel, knowing that like, yo, my father's a cop and he's a good cop, but it's like there's this picture painted that like all cops are this and this and this and that. Like, how did that make you feel, you know, personally?
Honestly, it don't really make me feel any type of way. It's basically with some stuff is life, certain stuff you gotta put up with, certain stuff you gotta deal with. Like, also the cops that's out here doing bad things, basically put a bad image on the good cops. So it's like hard for the good cops to say they not like bad cops. So basically you just gotta deal with it, put up with it. Yeah.
Okay, so now, Dad, back to you, right? With your father being a pastor and you playing the drums. So was it your desire to get into church activity, or did you feel the need to be involved in church activity because your family is in the church and you was born into the church?
Well, me and my brother grew up playing sports. Yeah. So it was like my dad didn't want us to play no sports. My dad just wanted just straight church, nothing else.
School and church.
That's it. And then my mom had stepped in and was like, well, like they got college coming up, so like I would want them to play sports, keep them out of trouble, keep them active, give them something to do, make new friends and stuff like that. And then when college rolled around, like maybe scholarships to come and play, which my brother did get scholarships to play basketball all 4 years of college. And it's like, I mean, at first we was forced, but then after that, like my dad let up and was like, whatever y'all want to do is on y'all and stuff like that. Like now today, like my dad don't pressure us to go to church. My dad said, you go to church, you go to church. If not, that's like we live and stuff like that. But me personally, I go to church every Sunday. I play on second Sundays. I go to church because I like going to church. There's nothing wrong with going to church. A lot of people be like, oh, I'm not going to church, this and that. But I like going to church because like it's a support system. There's a lot of love. And it's like family, like an extended family.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I get that. So, Malik, so with you, right? How was it for? Because I know that you also have your own relationship with God too. So how did that start for you? Like who pushed that in you growing up?
Like I said again, my grandmother really pushed church on me like very heavy. Like she made sure I would go to church every Sunday, and basically for me and all my cousins that wouldn't go to church, like if we would miss a day of church, we wouldn't be able to go outside. So like growing up in Jersey City, outside was like really fun. Being on the block with all your friends, seeing everybody, was something like as a kid growing up, you would want to be outside riding your bike, having fun and stuff. So growing up, she was just always make sure if like we don't go to church, there's no outside. Yeah. So basically, we made sure we did what we had to do. We went to church, but not no outside for that day. If you don't go to church that Sunday, there's no outside for that week.
Whoa.
So
she was strict.
Yeah, she was really strict. She was big on church. So basically, if we ain't go to church, there was no outside for the week. So
okay, so do you think that with all of that, you somehow got your own relationship with Christ, or like when was it for you that you realized that yo, like I love God for me, not because of just what my grandma did?
Honestly, I would say around like my freshman year of high school. Yeah. Basically, I found God because I was getting caught up in a lot of situations to the point where like I ain't have nobody to talk to. I ain't have no help or none of that. So basically, I just started praying. I started asking God for advice. I started talking to him about certain things and praying for things that I needed to be done. Then I started realizing that he was answering my prayers. The stuff I prayed for was coming true. So I just kept praying for like throughout the days, like the time going by, I always made sure I prayed. And the more I prayed, the more like connected I got with God.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, I appreciate you guys for coming. I feel like this was a good conversation, and we got to the bottom of a lot of things. Again, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And if you made it this far, God bless you. Thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow my new Instagram. Their Instagram handle will be in the description below too. Thank you guys, and peace.